And some of you, maybe you're doing it in your head, and that's fine. Okay? But should you have a question and you're not doing that, I don't really visualize it in my head. That's why I write it out.
You're talking about the bus seats, right?
Yes, that is correct. We're not out here to bend anybody out of shape that, oh my God, what do you mean by this? How? Well, I don't do it that way. But if that works for you, that's fine. Okay? I just said that is fine. Okay? But
it's not written wrongly.
yes.
You're not showing your work.
Okay. Is there anything you want me to go over?
Okay, so for like the Bohr models,
You didn't get it wrong. He's writing how because you didn't show your work.
It says -2. Check the back side.
Check the other side.
Put the bus seats, Levi.
It doesn't matter if I do it.
Check the other side. Like
How many points is this out of?
All right. So is there anything you want me to go over?
So what's on the test?
Bohr models, configurations, and orbital diagrams. Those three things. Slide rule pertains to everything, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's written over there too. Now, one of the things I did notice, okay, one of the things that we said, when that slide rule might be wrote different than yours. Some of you may have put the numbers on there. That's fine. That's just telling you what it can hold. That doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to put 6 in a P block. In other words, if you're looking at phosphorus, that means that's what, 3P3? Yeah, 3P3. Because it's in the third column of the P block. You wouldn't put 3P6, otherwise you're talking about argon. Okay. One of the reasons that we're going over this because some of you are going to be doing this in 2 years in college. We want to make sure we're doing this correct, right? Yep. And if we're nodding our head, I mean, and that's fine. You don't have to have this class. You're really glutton for punishment being in here if you don't need it. At least that's just my opinion, but it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Okay.
But Austin's having
I have some questions.
this year than he would have been having last year.
Just
Yes.
need to go over them and I'm just wondering. Okay, wait. I remember one question we like for the period. Come here, look at this.
Okay.
Why did or like what does this? I wrote it one time and now I can't remember. So like this is the periods that we go off for the Bohr models,
See,
right?
I'm willing to bet is that when you put these here, you're thinking that's the 3D. Okay, then the 4D.
Yeah.
That's I wouldn't do
ever
that.
use it for anything?
No, just those inner numbers.
Okay, and then I have another question.
Okay.
Okay, so for what blocks in the Bohr models can you use like column and stuff for?
The predictions, you mean?
Yeah, the predictions.
Just S and P block elements.
S and P column predictions.
Okay, now, it's very easy to do. If it's asking for a configuration and you put the Bohr model, that's wrong. Okay? Any other? Because otherwise, yes, this time is yours. I'm not going to stand up here and waste
Will they have
yours.
the charges on there?
Some, yep. I don't know yet. I mean, the reason I say I don't know yet because I haven't looked at it.
So for the column, that's how many are in the last number you'll use, or how many are total in the last energy level?
The last energy level, yes. But you can't do that for D block elements.
So what can you do for energy?
S and P block elements.
Yeah, but can you make any predictions on the D block?
As long as you remember N-1. That's why we don't go through that, because it's just one more thing to have to remember that's not
So for
necessary.
the D block, you just basically fill the Bohr model until you get the right numbers and
Right.
the right energy. Or
Okay.
periods, I should say.
So we could all benefit from this. Pick a D block element.
Iridium.
Okay, so we're looking at element 77. Okay, so if we were to do, per se, the configuration for iridium, okay? Okay, what noble gas would you use for this? Okay, you would use xenon. Okay, so we're already up to what element or number? Okay, so we need 23 more to go. So once you've picked out your noble gas core, okay, well, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, and this is where that slide rule is meant to help you. Thank you. Bonus. Okay, so once we find xenon, we're already in, what is that, 5p6? Okay, so what comes after 5p6? Okay.
Well, it'd be 7, yeah.
All right. So that's what we mean, because if you, because
You can do the prediction on that one.
on this you can,
Yeah.
but on a Bohr model you cannot.
We gotta do the circles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why we want to try to remain consistent with that. Thank you. Okay. Well, does this add up to 77? We needed, what did we say, 23? That's 21, 23. Okay. That would be correct then. Okay. And for instance, this is what we're going back to some of those examples. Some of you can do this in your head. Great. What are your quantum numbers for this without doing the bus seat rules? Okay. We got 5, 2. And you did that, and that's fine if you do that in your head, but not everyone can do that. Okay? This is why, because if you do put your bus seat rules down, if this is the last block, how many horizontal lines is that? 5, right? Okay? So then, how many arrows go into these bus seats?
7.
Okay?
Wait, the number of lines is determined by your,
How many did you block it divided by 2?
I am so
The number of lines total? So you know that N is D, and D equals 10, and half of 10 is 5. So like, if N is in F, then it'd be 14 divided by 2, so you'd have 7 lines.
Yes,
He would be 3.
it would. Okay? But keep in mind, if you are dealing with an S block element, okay, well then this value is going to be 0. Okay? So then what about this one? That is also 0. So if it's a negative half, you can tell me which column would that be in. Why is it the second one? Because it's negative. It has to be pointed down because then that S block is full. Okay. Does that make sense? Left, outside. Middle. 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 Okay, right side. Okay. All right. Are the gremlins out today or what? It just seems like everyone's in a bad, or am I just imagining things? Okay. Do you mind if I can rain on your parade, really, if I wanted to? Okay. I know you're just dying of anticipation why we would say that.
What was the question?
Okay, I'll tell you why. Okay? We'll just say 10 years from now. Is there any more summer breaks? No. Any more Christmas breaks? unless you're a teacher. Yeah. But chances are, even if you're a teacher, are you going to work over the summer? Probably. Yeah. So that's what we mean by rain on your parade. Okay.
Yeah, facts.
Anything else?
Can we go over another one with like a plus and a negative charge?
Okay.
Go through like the Bohr model.
Sure. You know, sometimes when what we're doing, what we think is so simple that because you're doing such complex math all the time, then we find something simple and it's kind of like that's when we make a mistake. It happens. Okay? So for instance, okay, let's say we're doing the Bohr model like what you had said. Okay? Following your bus seat rule. Because fluorine will ionize at a -1 charge. So once you see that, what is this telling you? Not just besides a -1 charge. There's 10 something electrons. Okay? So we've got a better way of doing that. Yeah. I mean, yes, we can do that, but that's not really how we want to illustrate it. Like some of you already said, and that's how we want to do it in here. Okay? And that would be 2p5, okay? Because this would be neutral fluorine, but we're saying it's a -1 charge. So what we want you to do is this. Okay?
So when you write the configuration for that, how do you write the one? So
Okay.
you have P6 and
Then you would do the 6. Okay? It's just easier to see it this way. Okay? So the configuration, how many of you would use helium?
No.
Probably not. Okay? So it's 1s2, okay? 2s2, then we would have 2p6. Okay?
What if you do 2.5?
Well, the reason we say that is because there's a total of 8 in this energy level, right? And that's where that comes from. We're not going to do 2p5 and then E. You could, but
so if we don't do the E in the Bohr model,
I prefer you do it that way. Just
would it be wrong if it?
no, but I'll just say we're not following how we would like you to do it.
If you have to do your quantum numbers in there, you might get confused and do 5 plus C instead of 3.
For this, well, then it's all going to be wrong.
4 model, yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
see how it's in the third?
Okay, so what if we had to do the,
It looks like it's in the D block.
This here,
Some people, it might look like it's in the D.
you'd have to get past the 4th energy level first.
It's the third one down though.
True, but then again, I go back to that. You're not following the bus seat rule.
is there any way that we have to do a orbital?
Or,
field?
I'm sorry, the slide rule.
Would you ever have us
For
do-
this?
Would you ever have us do an orbital field?
With a -1 charge? Sure.
So,
Okay.
say the ending was, if you wrote it down as E, then you'd have to do 1 bus seat. Or, like, not 1 bus seat, but 1 arrow.
Okay. So, if that was the case, okay.
Find the 5.
In
What if it was like,
potassium, okay? If we're doing the element potassium, okay?
So we're just gonna do that one and just.
Well, oh, this, okay. Because we were saying something about the first column, I thought. That's what,
Well, I was just saying that if you did like 2p5 and then put
Okay.
it at the end, would you still end up in the same spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay? Because if we're doing fluorine, okay, right now, that's what we would end up at. Okay? But then, if it's a -1 charge, then there's 1 extra electron in there, and that's where it's at.
Mr. McKinney?
All in ours would just.
Yes. But then we still know it's fluorine because the atomic number is still
What if 2p6
9.
was pulling that extra E? Is that not even?
Just put an arrow in there instead. Because if this is full, don't put an E in there, just put an arrow, because that's what those arrows stand for.
If your
I don't
2B6
think,
is,
I don't think you get what I'm trying to
hey,
ask.
Josie, if your 2B6 is full and then you need your extra E,
Yeah.
you do go to the whole next part of the slide rule.
But you shouldn't have a noble gas with a hard
No, you can't.
because they're already stable.
They're already stable.
So that'll, yeah.
Yep.
I think Ben's talking about when he said 2,5E, like if you were on iodine or something, you know,
Okay.
with like a -1 charge, it would look like 4D10. You know, it'd be like 251 in that last electron level. If you see what I'm getting at.
Why don't you come up here and show me? Because I'm not the best at deciphering that.
Okay, so like.
All right. Anything else, people? No? Going once? Going twice? All right. The rest of the time then is yours.